Mega Skarmory is a brand new Mega Evolution from the Pokemon ZA game, available to us in VGC for the first time with Pokemon Champions. However, it's not been a popular Mega choice, and we're going to be seeing if it's actually a fraud or if it's actually amazing. This is my Mega Skarmory Balance team. We're going to break through the team building process, then get into the individual mons, then how to play the team, and then we're going to showcase the team. Let's start by breaking down the team building process. So first we have Mega Skarmory, which has been a Mega Evolution that's been heavily disrespected in my opinion. I think even though a lot of players are going to compare it to Corviknight, where of course Corviknight does have a lot of better roles than Skarmory has, because it is pretty solid at the mirror armor ability because of the fact that it's able to be immune to Intimidate and intimidate like opposing Incineroar, which is really nice. I try to switch in because of mirror armor, so that's really great. Has better special defense as well, so that's another benefit. Mega Skarmory and Skarmory in general just doesn't have the best special defense in the world, so it's kind of a weakness. However, I feel the thing about Corviknight is it likes to play really defensive. I think Mega Skarmory really likes to play offensive, and I think that is going to be the key factor in differentiating these mons, because I think Mega Skarmory has the perfect toolkit for it. It has a base 140 attack, which isn't the greatest for a Mega Evolution, especially when it's vulnerable to Intimidate. Its speed stat though, 110 is pretty solid. You're able to outspeed a lot of the current format, especially the Mega Charizard Ys, the modest Frostlasses, the slower Mega Gengars. You're really able to outspeed quite a few of those Pokemon, the Eternal Floette, and threaten a lot of damage, because Brave Bird and Ironhead, from the same type attack bonus, actually do some pretty significant damage to a lot of common Pokemon in the format. And then when you have fighting coverage on top of that, it's able to hit the King Gambit, the Incineroars, and do a lot. The only problem with Skarmory is you can't compress all of these roles because of the fact that you want to have Protect to preserve itself, and then you want the 3 coverage options, but that means you can't go for like setup like Iron Defense like Corviknight can, or you can't go for like a bulk up set, and you also do not have access to recovery if you do go with this route. So that is something that I did need to solve, and that is something that I did need to solve. So the question is, how do we get all of those roles onto one team? And I thought balance was going to be the best way to approach it. Let's start with the combo. We have Skarmory, of course, which does need the boosting factors. So I thought, you know what? I think Sneasler is pretty good here because of the fact that with Sneasler, it's able to go for the move Coaching, which is able to increase the allies' attack and defense by 1 stage, which is perfect because it allows Skarmory to get the attack and defense boost before it gets an attack. And what's nice is Sneasler will outspeed the Skarmory and get the coaching off before the Skarmory gets a move, so it can actually go for that really strong hit. And that is pretty perfect for me. And I thought the coverage is also pretty nice because Sneasler, of course, one of the best mons in the format, and a lot of them have been running the Adamant Wider set. So having a faster Sneasler with the threat of Fake Out alongside the fact of Close Combat and Dire Claw, which is just good coverage across the board because the body press isn't crazy amounts of damage. However, Close Combat plus a body press absolutely will get the knockouts on those bulky Pokemon like Incineroar, King Gambit, and more, even through the Chople Berries. So Sneasler, I felt like was a really good pairing with Skarmory and solved that issue with both Fake Out support and the coaching option. Then the rest is like, okay, now I have that combo. How do I stop Intimidate? Because of course, since I'm running Sash Sneasler, I don't have the White Herb because I want to be able to survive 1 hit and then also be able to get the coaching off into the Skarmory. So that is a huge thing. So I can't run White Herb, that's why I'm running Focus Sash, and that makes me vulnerable to Intimidate. How do I solve this problem? Milotic, I felt like was a really good partner next to Skarmory because you have the option to be able to, 1, tank really strong fire type attacks, but B, you also have that option to scare away Incineroar on the lead thanks to the competitive ability, because Milotic, after a +2, will be able to threaten heavy amounts of damage to Incineroar with Muddy Water or Scald, and also it is able to be really nice at supporting the rest of the team. So I thought, okay, Milotic is pretty defensive. It really complements. It's able to switch in on Pokemon, again, like the fire type moves that could like really threaten the Skarmory, and it's just a really solid lead factor. Being able to scare away the Incineroar just makes it pretty valuable. Now, what set do I want to run? I think I'm going to go with a Coil Hypnosis set, and the reason is because I felt like Skarmory needs to be put into a good position, and there are a few Pokemon that do make it tough, especially the Mega Delphox. So felt like one of the bulkiest combos with Milotic is just able to kind of stick around on the field, go for the coil boost its defense, its accuracy, and then go for more accurate Hypnosis and Muddy Water and kind of stick around on the field with Hypnosis so that when I can bring in the Skarmory, it can really be able to wreak havoc afterward, because making sure I have the best position possible, I think, for Skarmory to be not threatened is key. So that was behind the idea of having the Milo on this team. Then, in order to help out, I think just adding Incineroar just makes a ton of sense to the team because, one, the Intimidate factor, really nice. Another Pokemon this team also struggles with is going to be Aegislash. Currently, I don't have any mons that really threaten Aegislash, so I do need a mon to threaten Aegislash. I want another mon that can threaten Delphox, and I think Incineroar has really good tools. Able to switch into opposing Incineroar. You have the Parting Shot to be able to pivot around and play around the Intimidate, in case you don't bring Milotic, of course. But that is going to be a factor. Also, just again, being able to threaten the Aegislashes, the Delphoxes, the things that give Skarmory a lot of trouble. Just be a good position mon. Intimidate, of course, is super valuable to all my Pokemon, including Milotic and Skarmory. So, Intimidate and Incineroar just seemed pretty good here on the team across the board. Then, to pair up with the team, I thought, okay, I think Garchomp makes sense afterward, because I think Garchomp does help out with the Skarmory. The combo seems really nice because of their speed tiers. Both Pokemon are faster than base 100s, able to threaten for some powerful double ups against a lot of the slower Pokemon in the format. And of course, Earthquake next to a flying type is fantastic, as well as Brave Bird, Iron Head Pressure, because Mega Skarmory does pair well with the Garchomp because it does able to threaten the Frostlasses as well as the Eternal Floettes. So I felt it was pretty solid there. And the Garchomp is able to help out against the electric coverage because I do have 2 water weeks, so I want to switch into electric type moves like the Rotoms, and I also wanted to make sure that I had an option to threaten Charizard Y again, so I have the Rock Slide with the White Herb on the Garchomp, which I think is pretty good here, as well as another mon that can threaten Delphox. Final mon on the team, I decided that I would go with Sinistcha because I felt Sinistcha, of course, as I mentioned before, I wanted recovery on the Skarmory if possible, but what is the best way to have recovery that isn't just Roost or Recover? It is going to be Sinistcha with its Hospitality and Life Dew. Another thing this team did struggle with, again, as I mentioned before, Rotomosh is still a really big pain to this team, but also another factor is going to be just bulky waters in general. As you can see from my team, I have nothing that hits water type super effectively, so I knew I needed one way to be able to hit those Pokemon super effectively. And then Sinistcha does some pretty good damage, it's able to stick around the field, able to be a great counter to Rotomosh. And also the Machagacha does do a good amount of damage. And Hospitality also heals the Skarmory. So there were so many things that just Sinistcha added to the team. It made so much sense here. And it would be able to provide recovery with the Skarmory with Life Dew. Redirection, of course, is always nice on the team. So Sinistcha was added as the final member. Now let's go through the individual members and see the final sets that the team concluded with. So first Pokemon we have is going to be the Mega Skarmory, the star of the show. And I think Mega Skarmory is actually a pretty underrated Pokemon in the format because a lot of players were not liking the Mega Skarmory, though I think it has a lot of potential. Base 110 speed is actually a solid speed tier, I think, in this format, especially if you decide to go with max speed. 140 attack for a Mega isn't the greatest physical-wise because of Intimidate, but it's still pretty decent, especially with the hard-hitting moves of Iron Head and Brave Bird. And then you have access to fighting coverage in Body Press, which is ignorant of the Intimidate's attack drops and can hit Pokemon like the Incineroar and King Gambit. So I actually think that Mega Skarmory has a lot of potential. And the best part about Skarmory is its ability in Stalwart, which is an underrated ability because it is able to ignore redirection. And that's pretty huge because of the fact that you can focus down on the threats. Like normally you would see Sinistcha going for Rage Powder and a few other Pokemon that are also going for Rage Powder. Some follow me mons like Maushold, though those are a little bit rare. But you don't really worry about a lot of the Rage Powder mons. You can ignore them and then focus down the threat, which Skarmory has a lot of great coverage for, especially like the Eternal Floette, which is a pretty popular choice in combinations with like Brave Bird into a lot of things, do a ton of damage to everything else. Iron Head is good for Frostlass. Yeah, like I think this mon is actually pretty solid. So we're going to be trying it out and see how well it can perform. We're going to have the Sturdy ability as the first one in case Skarmory has to switch into an attack and then we're left on 1 HP. I think it's the best ability that I can get access to. I think Weak Armor could be an interesting scenario, but I don't want my defense lowered because of the Body Press, even for the Speed Race. So I think I am going to be trying out the Sturdy for a more consistent ability that could be useful in certain situations. EV spread wise, it is going to be the max speed, max attack because the Skarmory does need all that it can have access to. You want to be able to outspeed again like Eternal Floette, some Charizard Y, so you can hit them with a really powerful Brave Bird. and modest Frost Blast as well. It's able to do a ton of damage into those. Brave Bird, Iron Head, Body Press, and Protect is pretty standard. All the good coverage options. And yeah, we'll see how well that Mega Skarmory is able to do. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Sneasler, and Mega Skarmory does need a little bit of help, especially against the Intimidate Mons, and even to get KOs, it might need a +1 attack boost. Well, where are we going to get that attack boost? The idea here is going to be the Sneasler, with both Fake Out and Coaching being great support moves. The Coaching able to boost the Skarmory's attack and defense by 1 stage especially is really, really great. So it can actually dish out damage with both its Iron Head and Brave Bird with the physical attack boost, and then the defense boost, not only great defensively, but also great for the body press, increasing the damage output. We have Close Combat and Dire Claw, which is super solid. Dire Claw, a backup answer to the Fairy types, which is solid. And then Close Combat, of course, being able to hit Pokemon like King Gambit just initially without having to boost up the Skarmory, which is great. The EV spread on this Sneasler is pretty simple. It's holding a Focus Sash. Burden allows it to double the speed once that Focus Sash is consumed. And then we also have just the max speed and max attack. We want to run max speed on this team because we want to be sure that we outspeed our Skarmory so we can go for the coaching before the Skarmory gets an attack off. So we can go for a coaching into a Brave Bird, coaching the Iron Head, coaching into Body Press. And it is a pretty consistent way with Jolly Nature and a Focus Sash, allowing the Sneasler to live 1 strong hit and ensure a coaching as well. So that is the idea behind the Sneasler, helps set up the Skarmory. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Sinistcha, and this Sinistcha is a pretty simple special defensive Sinistcha. It's pretty common in the format. It's really great at being able to take those attacks like the Shadow Ball from some of the Parasong Mega Gengars, as well as some like Heat Waves outside of Sun from Charizard Y. It is pretty great at doing what it likes to do, just being able to heal the ally, redirect attacks. It's really good, and I think with Skarmory, since my set isn't going to be able to run recovery on it, and it is trying to tank some attacks, Life Dew is going to be helpful, as well as Hospitality, to keep the Skarmory around. You also want something on this team that's able to actually pressure some of the bulky water types that Skarmory doesn't like, especially the Rotom Wash and the Milotic, which are a little bit hard to damage. So having this Sinistcha is really able to help out against Rotom Wash, as well as being able to help out against the Milotic. Pretty simple. We don't need Trick Room on this team because of the fact that we have mostly fast Mons. So have Protect on the Sinistcha to keep it around and make it easier to position in some games. Rage Powder, of course, Redirection, Life Dew, and Matcha Gotcha. I think it's pretty self-explanatory there. It's really simple Sinistcha with the Citrus Berry just to be able to recover the Sinistcha so it can stick around in the field, take multiple attacks, and of course keep healing the allies. Next Pokemon we have is going to be Garchomp, and there are 2 things that Skarmory really does appreciate when paired with Garchomp. One, of course, is going to be against Mega Charizard Y, you need to be able to threaten it, so having the Garchomp is pretty solid because of the Rock Slide factor. It's faster than Charizard Y, can threaten with Rock Slide, pretty solid. And then you also have, if it's a bulkier Charizard that's able to design to live Rock Slide, you can go for Brave Bird plus Rock Slide because you are faster with Mega Skarmory. The second option, of course, is Earthquake next to the Skarmory because it's really good at being able to hit some of the overall coverage, like the Steel Pokemon that this Mega Skarmory set really does appreciate, some of the fire types. It is pretty solid. It's a great switch in as well to the electric and the fire moves that the Skarmory is weak to. So the Garchomp is a good pairing with the Skarmory, and then you also have the Skarmory that's able to help out the Garchomp, threaten the ice types as well as the fairy types with the Iron Head. So it's pretty solid around the board. It's able to really just be a great offensive duo, especially with that White Armor on the Garchomp. I don't have to worry about the Intimidate immediately and can still fire off some pretty strong damage with a powerful attack from the coverage options that it has access to. Self-Earthquake with the Brave Bird is a really great combination. Dragon Claw to hit other Garchomps and like Rotom Wash. Rock Slide, of course, to be able to hit the Charizard Ys as well as like Rotom Heat. And yeah, pretty standard Garchomp paired with Skarmory. I think it's a really classic Earthquake plus Flying type duo. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Milotic, and Milotic is a pretty solid Mon, I think, in this format. It's just the fact that it's really hard to get rid of because of the fact that very limited electric and grass coverage in this format. Like there's Sinistcha, maybe like Mega Venusaur and regular Venusaur, but other than that, not really that many grass types that are offensive. And then the electric types are really just the Rotoms for the most part. So not too much coverage to hit the bulky waters, and that means Milotic can just kind of stick around. And what's nice about Milotic and how it pairs with the team, of course, is going to be the competitive ability, which when Milotic takes a stat drop, it will get a +2 raise to its special attack. So this thing can be really hard for Incineroar to stop up my Mega Skarmory, and that makes it so that my Milotic can get a potential boost. And this Milotic is able to help set up the Skarmory because of the fact we're running the Coil Hypnosis set. Coil increases the attack, defense, and the accuracy of the Milotic, and Hypnosis, generally an inaccurate sleep move, will get boosted with the accuracy, make it more accurate after 1 coil, and then after 2 coils, it's pretty much always going to be able to hit with Hypnosis, and then we can stall out and try to reposition from there. Muddy Water, of course, is really good to be able to hit with as well for the spread move, as well as the potential accuracy drops. So Milotic can just kind of stick around, get some pretty good damage, scare away the Incineroar, and position the Skarmory or the rest of the attackers to do their thing. The EV spread, this is going to be a pretty bulky Milotic. We have a lot of HP, and I do want the Calm Nature because Milotic has a really high special defense stat, so I do want to take advantage of that and make sure that the Nature is giving it a 10% boost to it, and then the rest is going to be into physical defense to take the bulk, especially with 1 coil. Like, this Milotic's really hard to break through. The rest just going to be a little bit extra special attack and speed, but across the board, this Milotic is just going to be clicking Coil, Hypnosis, Muddy Water, Recover. It's just going to be boosting up, going to be hard to stop, getting some good chip damage from Muddy Water, and then Hypnosis is just going to put the Pokemon to sleep so that the rest, again, can clean up. Last Pokemon we have is going to be the Incineroar, and of course, it's a pretty classic VGC staple. What to say, Fake Out, of course, is a great support move. You have Parting Shot to be able to pivot around and, of course, reduce the damage output of the target, and it's really good with the Skarmory because you want to pair it up with the Skarmory because, 1, being able to lower the attack stat of the other Pokemon can be nice for Skarmory to take the hits even better. 2 is the fact that, of course, where you want to switch into opposing Incineroar, you want to pivot around opposing Incineroar and play around Intimidates. Yeah, Parting Shot is just really nice for that kind of option. You also have really good coverage against Aegislash, which is a hard Pokemon to actually break through for the Mega Skarmory. So you want to be able to hit the Aegislash and a few other Pokemon in the format like the Mega Delphox. You need a pivot, so Incineroar just makes a lot of sense with the rest of the team. And this is a pretty standard Incineroar set with Draw Chop, Flare Blitz, Parting Shot, Fake Out. We've already explained Fake Out and Parting Shot. Draw Chop is going to be useful, especially against the Hyper Voice mons, and opposing Parting Shot is, of course, really nice. And then Flare Blitz for the strong damage output. This is a pretty standard spread on the Incineroar at the moment. It has a good amount of attack investment because you do want to get the KOs with the Flare Blitz and the Draw Chop for the chip, especially onto like Delphox, Drew, Intimidate. You also have the lot of HP investment because you want Incineroar to be able to tank attacks. The Adamant Nature with the 5 stat points does give it a boost to its attack stat where it gets 2 stat points compared to if you invested 4, it'd be the attack stat would be 152. So that 5 is an extra jump point, so you get 154. The special defense is to be able to switch into Charizard Y, which is pretty consistent, into Mega Delphox, which is pretty much a must on this team, and then just a little bit of extra speed to be able to speed creep some Pokemon, especially opposing Incineroar. But yep, we have a pretty standard Incineroar running a Chople Berry, which is pretty solid because it does help out in taking a Sneasel or close combat, which is very much appreciated, and is able to fire back some pretty good damage. Now, how to use the team? Well, since it's a balanced team, it does have a bit of a mix of both offensive and defensive capabilities in its gameplay. So for example, offensively, you could lead something like Skarmory plus Sneasler if it's in the right spot, and go for like a Fake Out plus an attack with Skarmory. Double ups, of course, is possible, and the coaching is really nice. You can just boost up your Skarmory immediately with an attack and defense boost, making Skarmory a massive threat. Then you also have, of course, leads with Skarmory plus Garchomp, which is also pretty good because if you have a faster speed tier, you can just go for really strong damage output immediately with the double up of Earthquake plus a attack from Skarmory. Then you also have Sneasler plus Garchomp that can lead because you can actually use coaching with your Garchomp as well, and that could be a massive threat. You could boost up the Garchomp and go for boosted Garchomp next to Mega Skarmory to clean up games as well. Then, of course, you have generally good leads. Of course, if there is Intimidate, you could just lead with the Milotic because it can scare away opposing Intimidate, and you could go for a more defensive game plan with Milotic. Set up coils with the Milotic so you can get the accuracy boost as well as the defense boost, then go for Hypnosis into your opponent, slow them down a bit, chip them away with Muddy Water, and then bring out your threat while you're having a safer position to bring out like your Mega Skarmory that might have been threatened otherwise, or your Garchomp, for example. Then you also want to have, in that case, would probably be back Sinisha. Sinisha will probably never lead for the most part. It will always probably be in the back, other than very, very rare niche scenarios where you probably just want to save it for the hospitality, mainly going to be for either the Skarmory or maybe like one of Garchomp or Incineroar. Sometimes the Milotic, but it's a little bit rare in that case. Incineroar, of course, can just always lead because you do have access to fake out Parting Shot, and you can Parting Shot out to get into a safer position with your threat, especially the Skarmory, which can be nice to play around opposing Intimidate, especially if you don't bring the Milotic and more. So there's a lot of different flexible combinations that you can do with this team, and again, it has a good mix of both offense and defensive capabilities. If you'd like to check out the rest of the details, there'll be a link to the description down below. And otherwise, let's try out Mega Skarmory for the first time in Pokemon Champions, and we'll see if it's an actual fraud or if it's actually surprisingly good. Alright, we have Gardevoir, Garchomp, Milotic, King Gambit, Chandelure, and Sinisha. I haven't seen a Chandelure in Champions yet, so I'm curious if it's going to be the Mega. There's 3 potential Megas on my opponent's team: Chandelure, Gardevoir, and Garchomp. Gardevoir is usually most likely the candidate to be Mega, but I'm kind of curious here if it is actually Mega Chandelure, or the common one would be either Choice Scarf or Focus Sash, usually in previous VGC formats. So yeah, this is going to be quite interesting. Milotic seems pretty good here to be able to tank the attack. Skarmory is actually pretty decent. It's able to avoid the redirection from the Sinisha, which is pretty solid here. And they don't have Intimidate. So yeah, I'm actually liking quite a bit the Gardevoir lead. Gardevoir's pretty solid here. Maybe Gardevoir Milotic here is pretty good here. Yeah, I like Gardevoir Milotic. I think it's fantastic. Being able to just be able to handle Chandelure pretty comfortably, I think, for the most part. In the back, do I want Garchomp? Garchomp's good. Incineroar and Sinisha are also pretty good because I don't have the best ways of dealing damage to Milotic, which I think is kind of concerning. I could go with Sneeze or Coaching mode here, but it is a little bit not great into the Chandelure, I think. So I think these 4 are probably the best. Just good defensive pivots all around. Now Milotic, I think on my side, can kind of just set up coils pretty safely because their only special attackers are like either threatened by Skarmory, or yeah, they're just all threatened by Skarmory basically, or it's Chandelure, which isn't too bad. Okay, so we see Milotic Chandelure lead versus Milotic and Skarmory lead. Okay, this is pretty decent. This is pretty decent. Do I want to Mega Evolve immediately or not is a good question. So I think my best play turn 1 is to just go for a Protect with the Skarmory. And I think it's just go for a Coil immediately to boost up the accuracy of my Hypnosis and make sure that my Muddy Waters are 100% accurate. Water Chandelure is not like amazing at threatening me. So we will protect our Skarmory. Let's see if there's a Protect from Chandelure or not. They actually go for Overheat immediately. Okay. So it's Overheat, and then we're going to get a Coil up with my Milotic. Okay. Am I too concerned about the Milo? It's not that bad. They go for Muddy Water immediately. Actually, it would be pretty nice if they get an accuracy drop, just because it would give me the competitive boost on my Milo. So I could probably knock out their Chandelure if that's the case. So, nope, no drop. The one time I'd probably want to drop. Okay, so I'd assume it has to be like Gardevoir back then, if that's the case. Do I want to go in Sinisha or do I want to go Incineroar? Because if I do go Incineroar, the annoying part is that I do give the Milotic a competitive boost. It's not the worst to deal with out there, but it's definitely not the easiest. Another play is just going out into Incineroar and clicking Hypnosis into the Milo, because it is about 80% accurate right now, so I think that's actually a pretty good gamble because I could keep my Incineroar alive for a Fake Out. I could get another Coil up. I think that's pretty decent odds here, so... Although, actually, their Milotic was faster than my Milo, right? Because I don't have any speed investment. I mean, this is still alright because having Milo take sleep turns is pretty solid. They actually switch out to Chandelure here into Sinisha. So, it's actually funny because I think we have very similar ideas for game plans here. Okay, we will bring out our Incineroar. And ideally, we can get a Hypnosis off into the Milo and then start going for Brave Birds, which is pretty solid. So... we will go for Hypnosis, and we do land, actually. I think we just speed type with our Milo. So that's actually pretty nice, because I do put the Milo to sleep immediately. And yeah, this is actually a pretty decent position, I'd say. Okay. Now I can just go for another Fake Out round into the Milo. Do I want to risk Milo waking up is the question. Because I don't have to at the current moment. I could just go for a fake out into Milo and go out in my own Sinistra, which is not bad. And then I can Hypnosis their Sinistra. So I think that's actually pretty decent here. So I think I'm going to coil up first with the Milo and then go for fake out into the Milo. As they protect Sinistra, this is perfect case for me because I do get a free fake out off into the Milo. So in case it does wake up, I can put it back to sleep, which is nice. And coil. Oh, was my Milotic always faster? I thought first turn, maybe I'm just waiting the speed tie, or maybe I'm just like misremembering. But this is a pretty decent situation. My Milo's now +2 accuracy, defense, and attack, although attack doesn't really matter. This is the perfect time to start getting some sleep around and buying turns for my Sinistra to come in. I'm kind of curious if the Milo has also the coil set. Muddy Water tends to be the coil set, or if they're going to be something else like a... what would it be? Ice Beam or Icy Wind. But Sinistra retreat, so somebody's taking Icy Wind or Hypnosis. Gardevoir gonna come in. They better Trace Intimidate, Trace Intimidate. Oh, if they Trace Intimidate, man. +2 Milo was cleaning up. Okay, Sinistra back in. As we do land Hypnosis into the Gardevoir. I think my Milo's just faster at this point. They're guaranteed to wake up here. They took 2 turns. They go for Scald. Wait, they have Muddy Water and Scald? That's an interesting set. Okay. Alright, no burn. And now I can go for Matcha Gotcha and Hypnosis into the Milo. And there's not really a punish here. Yeah, I just go for Matcha Gotcha. So they brought Gardevoir and Chandelure. So I think it has to be the Mega on the Gardevoir, I assume. So I'm just going to Hypnosis the Milo, and I'm just going to go for Matcha Gotcha because I would like to damage into the Milo immediately. We are going to see a Mega Evolution from the Gardevoir, which is fine. Okay. And Milo going to reveal Protect. Okay, so they're going for like for the wake-ups, but that's all right here. I don't mind that. Because Gardevoir is not like the best offensive presence against me. I have pretty good special defense with both my Pokemon, so the Gardevoir's not like doing crazy amounts of damage. I do get some free chip damage with the Matcha Gotcha as well. And now I can go for Hypnosis plus a Matcha Gotcha combination, and that's pretty dang good here, I'd say. So I'm going to go for the Matcha Gotcha, and I'm just going to go for Hypnosis. This is kind of the threat of this kind of Milotic set, where it's just able to go for these Hypnosises into my opponent and build up momentum while they are asleep. And if the Milo retreats, somebody is taking that sleep turn, gonna be that Sinistra, which is gonna heal the Gardevoir, but granted, like, still a pretty good spot, I'd say, for me. They do wake up, okay. Hyper Voice, this should do a good amount, but not nearly enough, yep. And I am guaranteed to hit Hypnosis into the Sinistra slot, and I will get a Matcha Gotcha, so I'll get some damage as well as recovery. Yep, pretty solid here. Pretty solid. I think my best play here is actually to Hypnosis the Sinistra slot. Yeah, I think it's Hypnosis the Sinistra slot. The reason I think it's Hypnosis the Sinistra slot is I think it's very likely that Gardevoir protects because the Hypnosis, they know it's coming. They can't knock out the Milo. And I could see maybe Sinistra retreating into maybe the Chandelure so they could double up the Milo with Shadow Ball plus Hyper Voice if it is Scarf. Overheat kind of made me suspicious here. And even if I get this play wrong and Gardevoir clicks Hyper Voice again, Skarmory threatens the next turn with Iron Head, and I don't have to worry about Rage Powder from Sinistra because of the fact that I do have the Stalwart on the Mega Skarm. And yeah, we are going to see... oh, a double out of Milo. Okay, that's fine. Alright, we switch out our Sinistra. We get to keep it around. Skarmory is in. And Skarmory's looking really threatening. They do go for Hyper Voice, but that's alright. Yeah. I can go for a pretty safe Hypnosis into the Milo slot. And the question is, do I want to do it again? Do I want to do it again is the question. So I will get the... I think this is a pretty safe Iron Head into the Gardevoir slot and probably a Recover. Yeah, I like having recovery on the Milo so I can be put out of Hyper Voice range. They could double out into Chandelure, which is fine for the Milo or the Gardevoir slot, but at this point, I do get the recover with the Milo, so the Milo will be out of range of attacks. So I think this is pretty good. And then I could just Hypnosis to Chandelure the next turn, so I think this is pretty decent here. And if they don't switch out, I'm in a really good spot, because if they protect to stall out a turn, I just get a free recover. And yeah, it's looking really solid. So Skarmory Mega Evolve, they do go for the Protect. That's fine. As we do attempt to Iron Head, and the Milo will burn 1 turn of sleep, but we do get the recover off. Nice. The Sinisha's asleep as well. I just gotta figure out how to break through this Milo. They should switch out this the Gardevoir, or the Gardevoir, I think, into probably Sinisha. So I kind of want to go into my own Sinisha so I can get some Gacha healing. Just breaking through this Gardevoir is just kind of annoying. That's the only annoying part. I think I do go for Iron Head Muddy Water, though. I think that's a... Well, I don't want to get the special defense, or I don't want to get the accuracy drop on the Milo. It might be just Hypnosis in case they go Chandelure here. Yeah, I think that's all right. There is also a world where I switch out the Milo to get the Hospitality, but we do see the Gardevoir retreat. This is probably Sinistra. Yep. Okay. I could have went in my own Sinistra, but I still think this is pretty reasonable, especially if they stay asleep with the Gardevoir. I get some decent chip into the Sinistra. Hypnosis is going to fail into the Sinistra. Do they wake up? They don't wake up. So they are guaranteed to wake up the next turn. But right now, I don't think this is too bad. Again, I can go out in the Sinistra pretty safely. And I might as well just coil up again with my Milo. Yeah, I'm just going to coil up with my Milo again because I don't need to Muddy Water in this position. I don't want to give them the boost on the Milo. I can go for a Matcha Gacha plus the Muddy Water next turn. I'm assuming the Sinistra is probably Rage Powder, Matcha Gacha. Maybe it's Shadow Ball. I don't think it's Trick Room at this point. But we will bring out Sinistra. Hospitality will affect the Milo. And we will coil up with our Milotic. They do wake up guaranteed. They are going to go for a Scald into my Sinistra, which is going to do nothing. And the Sinistra is guaranteed to take a turn of sleep. We do get burned, a little bit unfortunate, but that's all right. I think they protect the Milo slot. I don't know if they switch out to Sinistra. My play is just to go for Life Dew here in Muddy Water now. Okay. Also, they revealed Muddy Water Scald. We are playing a super long game for the first one, but when we do play like 2 Milotics in this format, it is kind of the case when our only grass type attack is Sinistra, really, because it's really hard to break through Milo. Milo retreats, actually. What's going on? Gardevoir? Chandelure. That's taking a Muddy Water. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's fantastic. We get a free Muddy Water off into the Chandelure and the Sinistra. Really good damage. And the Life Dew is probably the best case scenario. Double accuracy drop. Okay. And we get the Life Dew, so we get healing on the Sinistra, which is nice. That's more recovery than the Matcha Gacha was doing. Sinistra also stays asleep, so this is fantastic. The question is, do I want to go for... I mean, my play here is just to protect and Hypnosis, right? That's always my play here. Into the Chandelure. Something on the Chandelure slot is falling asleep. The Sinistra will wake up. Then I could go for Hypnosis, swap back to Skarm. Looking like a really good setup point for Skarmory to come in and actually threaten some heavy damage with Brave Bird. I can even retreat the Milo. So yeah, this is the power of Coil Hypnosis Milo. It is absolutely absurd. But we will protect our Sinistra. We're not having them take a knockout here. Oh, curse! They are like, I need to get rid of this Milo somehow. Okay, I respect it. Okay, so Chandelure goes down. This makes it a little bit interesting. Sinistra wakes up, goes for Matcha Gacha. How much does this do to Milo? It does connect. Oh, wow. They crit? That did a lot. Okay, I was about to say, that did way too much. Am I in Gardevoir range? I don't think I am. No, I'm not in Gardevoir range. Oh, wait, after the curse I am. Shoot, that crit actually matters a lot. Okay, we have a game. Gardevoir in. Actually, this is still fine. Because what I can do is I can go for Life Dew and switch out into Incineroar. And then try to heal up Milo later in the game. Yeah, this is fine. I don't mind this spot. because they're going to go for Hyper Voice and either Sinistra switches out into Milo or they're going to go for Matcha Gotcha again. Both are completely fine. Instant comes in, healthy, gets the Intimidate off. Yep, Sinistra retreats into Milo. I could have Matcha Gotcha'd here for the damage, but I don't think I need it. This is Hyper Voice. They have to Hyper Voice here. Yeah, they can't afford me to get a Recover off. Sinistra takes a lot of damage, but we do get the Citrus, and we will get the Life Dew. So, not bad turns here. Now I can go for Fake Out into one of these slots, and I can go for Life Dew again. I could go for Matcha Gotcha. I think the idea is to get Skarm in now. I think Skarmory is in a good spot. So I think I go for Skarmory switch. And the question is, who do I fake out? Do I fake out the Gardevoir or do I fake out the Milo? I think they might Scald the Ensign. So I think it's fake out the Gardevoir. Oh, man. If I was able to keep the Milo healthy, it just had a really nice Hypnosis pin. And then I could have got Skarm way safer. Now I'm a little bit risking the Skarm. But granted, Skarmory should take the attacks just fine. It depends on how aggressive they want to play with the Milo, though. That's a big concern. But we will go out into Skarm here. And if the Gardevoir protects, it's threatened by Iron Head the next turn, so this works. They don't protect. Okay, that makes sense to me. Okay, now I have a pin on the Milo's or on the Gardevoir slot with Iron Head plus a Flare Blitz, which is really good for me. So I am gonna go for Iron Head into the Gardevoir slot, and I am gonna go for, or I guess I don't have to Flare Blitz. I could just Throat Chop. Yeah, Throat Chop is safe. Milo can't knock out Skarm at this range, so I just go for the double up into guard. They have to sack the Sinistra here, and if they sack Sinistra, that means that Gardevoir plus Milo are on their own, which is pretty okay for me. I could also protect and Throat Chop as well, the Gardevoir, which also makes sense to me. But I think this is still a pretty reasonable play for me. Yeah, they do switch out Gardevoir into Sinistra, but again, I think I have pretty decent odds here of being able to tank it. Iron Head. Good damage. Actually, Sinistra was healthier than I remember. Oh yeah, because it healed off it healed off earlier. Okay. They went for Muddy Water. Throat Chop KOs. Yes, okay. Perfect. Now my best play is to go out in a Sinistra, and the question is, do I protect or do I click Iron Head? They can't Trick Room, because if they Trick Room, then Sinistra is the fastest Pokemon, so I don't think it matters too much in that case. I mean, Iron Head is pretty safe here. Yeah, Iron Head is pretty safe. I'm just worried about if they get a double protect down the line. I mean, this is obvious, but at the same time, I think it's alright. We're going to go Sinistra, and we're going to go for Iron Head. They might go for an aggressive play because they're kind of in a rough spot, but we'll see. I'm really worried about double protect, though. Bring out Sinistra. Get the Hospitality on the Skarm. Let's see, do you protect? No, perfect. Okay. I had a suspicion, but Iron Head takes the KO on Gardevoir, and then I think Sinistra should win this endgame. Woo! Okay, okay, good. Muddy Water again? No, they Scald my Instant. That gives you no chance of winning. I feel like if you do that, you have to Scald the Skarm slot and hope for a burn. But yeah, they can't win now. I have too many resources. Perfect. Okay, it took a long start of the game, which, as I said before, we're playing as safe as possible to bring out the Skarm because of the fact that against Chandelure, it was still a little bit annoying. But granted, I do think that I was able to position the Skarm into a really good spot. Alright, we have Mousehold, Eternal Floet, Garchomp, Rotom Wash, Aegislash, and the Talonflame. So, what is the scariest mon here? Eternal Floet is definitely terrifying, but we do have Skarmory. There's two potential Mega Evolutions. Probably just going to be Eternal Floet, realistically, and Garchomp, but it's probably just Eternal Floet. I want to see. So the Rotom Wash is the scariest mon here, because it's the mon that gives me the most trouble. I do like Skarm a lot, especially because we actually ignore Follow Me from Mousehold, so we can actually threaten the Floet more consistently. So I just need to make sure I can threaten the Rotom. If I get rid of the Rotom and threaten it, I think I'm in a really good spot. So I think lead-wise, I don't know if they're leading Talonflame. That's the thing. I could definitely see Talonflame as the lead. I definitely bring Sinistra. I feel like a Floette isn't, or a Sneasler's not bad because of the coaching. Because one coaching boost is pretty huge, but I'm not 100% certain. I feel like I probably can't do that though. I think I have to do something like Garchomp plus Instant because the Rotom is just so annoying to handle. I need Sinistra back. And I think bring Skarm as the last. Like, this is still an okay spot, realistically. I would have really loved Coaching Sweep, but the problem with Coaching Sweep is it's inconsistent because I'm going to be playing around the Rotom Wash for the most part. If I can get rid of Rotom Wash, it'd be a lot easier. But the thing is, I also have to make sure that I'm careful because if I need Sinistra in this game. I feel like I need Incineroar to be able to kind of pivot around the board for Sinistra to come in easier. So we're going to see Aegislash plus the Rotom, which is fine here. Okay. I get Intimidate off. I can threaten Fake Out. I think Fake Out Dragon Claw makes the most sense to me to get some damage off into the Rotom. I don't know if they have Protect or not. So they could be Scarf Rotom, which is why I'm thinking Fake Out Dragon Claw is pretty safe. And they actually go for King Shield. So this is the best case scenario. I get to find out what the Rotom item is. Nice. I get a Fake Out off into the Rotom. Rotom's the biggest threat to me, so I'm okay with this. Okay, that's Bulky Rotom. Yep, it's Citrus. Okay, good to know. Can Rotom knock out Instant? Probably not, realistically. So I think I always just go for a Dragon Claw into the Rotom. And do I Party Shot out the Aegislash, or do I go on the offense against the Aegislash? I could also go out into Sinistra. Sinistra's is also pretty safe here. I could also just go for a Flare Blitz because I do need to get rid of the Talonflame. Could be annoying if Garchomp's weakened, which is going to get weakened this turn. Actually, I think I go Sinistra. The reason I think I go Sinistra is just because I don't want my Incin to be weakened because it's one of my best answers to Talonflame after Garchomp gets weakened. So they're going to retreat Aegislash, which is nice. What's coming out? Floette. Interesting. Okay. And I get a Dragon Claw off into Rotom, and I guess a Hydro Pump or they Will-O-Wisp. They Hydro Pump my Instant. Perfect. This is the best case. Okay. Sinistra healthy. Yeah, this is pretty decent here, I'd say. Because now what I can do is just protect Garchomp, and unless they go crazy and double up the Sinistra slot, which I just don't think is likely. Maybe they Volt Switch actually to Sinistra. If they Volt Switch Gleam, that's bad. That would not be good. Because they have not protected this entire game. I would like to keep Garchomp healthy if I can. I think Protect plus Matcha Gotcha is probably safe. I think I might live a Moonblast from the Floette. I can still try to get some damage onto whatever Rotom's switching into. Alright, we see the Eternal Floette. Is this Volt Switch Rotom? Because they didn't protect, so I feel like it could be Volt Switch Rotom, and that's why that they have been playing aggressive. Oh, Helping Hand. Is this Helping Hand Gleam? If it is Helping Hand Gleam, I guess it's okay for me. It's not amazing, though. Okay, we protect our Garchomp. Did they Moonblast the Sinistra? Which is fine, realistically, because if Sinistra goes down, I just get a free switch to Skarm. They did Dazzling Gleam. I think I survived with Sinistra. Yeah, I do. Please hit the Rotom, because the Rotom's actually the scariest mon here. If I hit the Rotom, I'm in great shape. Oh, okay. So that's kind of annoying. I do get a burn on the Floette, but I much have rather hit the Rotom. I would have much rather hit the Rotom. Okay, I gotta think about this. I guess like endgame wise, I could go for Garchomp cleanup. If it's Aegislash, what do I think is the last? Their own Garchomp? Or is it Talon? I guess what I could do is just go out into Incin. Actually, Incin and Protect is not too bad. Or I could go for a Dragon Claw into the Rotom and take the knockdown of Rotom. Actually, that works too. Because if it's Talonflame, I still don't think I'm in a terrible spot. So I'm going to Dragon Claw and I'm going to protect my Sinistra. If they go out of Aegislash, that's fine. They're going to go for another Helping Hand. Their Floette has to be max speed to outspeed my Garchomp, which is fine. Because even if Rotom survives the turn, this is okay. I get Dragon Claw off, I KO the Rotom. Okay, so Rotom gone is nice. Getting rid of Rotom is very big. Okay. And they go for Dazzling Gleam into the Sinistra and the Garchomp. Okay. This is reasonable. The Garchomp goes down, but now I get a free switch to Skarmory. And Skarmory, after the Matcha Gotcha damage, now Iron Head will KO the Floette. So yeah, now I can go out into Skarmory. And then what's the last is my question. Because we know it's Aegislash and one more. Is it Talonflame or is it like Mousehold? Talonflame, yeah, okay, that's to be expected. So obviously I threw away my Garchomp, but this is still pretty reasonable. I can go for an Iron Head pretty safely into the Floette and switch to Incin. The only way this gets really bad is if the Talonflame has... I don't think Will-O-Wisp is that bad. I think the biggest problem would be the Overheat if it's like mixed Talonflame, which used to be a set in 2014 and 2015 and 16. Alright. Mega Evolve with Skarmory to threaten the Iron Head into the Floette. They could go for Tailwind plus Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast. That's fine. I don't mind that, but we'll see. If they protect Floette, that's okay because I can fake out the Talonflame the next turn. Did they go for a fire move? They went for Tailwind. Okay. So I did go for the Iron Head into the Floette slot. I'm going to just go for fake out Iron Head again. Is that the play? Yes. The question is, does Floette Moonblast or do they hard swap to Aegislash? I guess my play is still to always go for Iron Head fake out into Floette, I think. I think it is because even if they hard... I could Flare Blitz the Floette to try and KO it if Aegislash tries to switch in because I can pin the slot. But the problem is if they double the Incin with Moonblast plus Brave Bird, I think I go down to that. So I think my safest play is to fake out Iron Head. Even if they swap out, it's not too bad. I still have Sinistra, which is pretty safe, and I have Chople Berry on my Incin. So I don't think this is that bad. Even though I get the play wrong, it's not terrible. And they actually go for Flare Blitz, so I'm taking it pretty decently. Yeah, -1 Flare Blitz. I thought Skarm would take it a little bit better, but that's still pretty reasonable. They also lost their Gale Wings. I do get the Iron Head off into the Aegislash. And what's actually interesting about this interaction is the speed interaction, because right now, I'm curious on if they try to switch out the Talonflame or not. I think my best play is to Parting Shot out to the Aegislash slot, because they either King Shield or they're going to close combat. Either one's kind of fine. They also could go on a Floette, which is what I expected. Yep, that's perfectly fine. I almost debated about Flare Blitzing this slot. I think it has to be King Shield then from the Aegislash. We protect the Skarm. Oh, wow, they attacked. Oh, man. All right. They went for Poltergeist into the Skarm, which is an interesting choice. Okay. I do get the Parting Shot off into the Aegislash. And now we can go out into our Sinistra. I think I live Shadow Sneak, which is pretty good for me. With Sinistra, which means the Floette has to attack the Sinistra to take the knockout. How many turns of Tailwind do they have left? It's last turn. Okay, so I can double protect here. I can double protect. The thing is, Talonflame could try to switch in here. I think my best play is to Iron Head the Floette and probably just Rage Powder. Yeah, I think that's actually the play. Because I need to get rid of the Floette so Incin wins the game, I think. So if they attack this turn, Floette goes down. But if they protect the Floette, the worst things they can do, Aegislash goes for Shadow Sneak or Iron Head into Sinistra, which doesn't KO. Or they double out into Skarmory. And this, or into Talonflame for Aegislash, which I think both are fine. So this actually works out. We do get the Rage Powder off as they go for Gleam. I think I live Poltergeist with the Skarm. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know I'll at least outspeed the... I'll at least outspeed the Floette here with Iron Head. So I do get the Iron Head KO into the Floette. Okay. Do I live Poltergeist? If it's spell tag, maybe I don't. Oh, and if Skarmory voice, that's helpful. They did dodge Matcha Gotcha earlier on the Rotom, I will say. I actually don't know if the Poltergeist KO'd though. I think it depends on if it was Spell Tag or not. Because it was -1 Aegislash from the Instant. But now we have -2 on the Aegislash, and we have a healthy Instant, which is very nice here. Did the Talonflame reveal Protect? I cannot remember. I cannot remember. I think my best place to fake out in Brave Bird the Talonflame regardless. I think they have to double protect anyway. Right? Go for King Shield plus protect here. Oh, they don't. So I think I just win with Instant at this point. So I get a fake out on Talonflame. Brave Bird will knock out the Talonflame, and then Instant should beat the Aegislash 1v1. Even if it's close combat, it's -2, and I have Chapel Berry still, so I think I'm good. They Poltergeist my Instant. Okay. You see my Chapel Berry? I think I live Shadow Sneak with my Skarmory, but I think, yeah, like, the game's over. We saw Poltergeist. You want to assume it's Shadow Sneak, probably Iron Head, and King Shield. So, ooh, okay. A little bit scary. I got rid of the Rotom exactly as I wanted, and I think the Mons I brought were actually all correct, because Sneasler was not having fun in that game, I'll tell you that much. And then, like, maybe I could have played a bit more aggressive. Again, I think it could have been a call between the Float switching out an Aegislash, or me potentially going for the Iron Head Flare Blitz KOing, and then that's probably game right there. However, I just didn't want to risk it there, and then I got the really big turn of catching the Eternal Float with the Iron Head and KOing it, because Instant would have still been able to be in a good spot even if we got down to Poltergeist, but of course it gets a lot dicier. I might have to make some reads on the Protects and the King Shields, so it's still a winnable game. But again, I don't know if Poltergeist actually even KOs Skarmory, because Mega Skarmory still has some pretty good physical defense, and again, it was intimidated on the Aegislash earlier. Or not intimidated, -1 for Parting Shot. Alright, we have Eternal Float, Delphox, Garchomp, Basculegion, King Gambit, and Mousehold. So, we have one of my worst matchups here, which is going to be the Mega Delphox. Mega Delphox is really, really tough for my team. Although, Milotic is actually pretty solid here, because they don't have the best answers to Milo. So, I definitely want to bring the Milotic, for sure. The question is, who am I pairing it up with? Sinistra is like okay, but it's not like amazing in this matchup. Garchomp's pretty solid. Instant's really good. I think Skarm is also pretty good here. I just gotta make sure I have answers to the Delphox, because Delphox is scary. I also don't know if they would lead King Gambit here. I think they would, right? I think Milotic is pretty generally safe for the most part. The question is, am I leading Instant or am I leading Gambit? I think Milo plus the Garchomp is pretty decent. Do I want Sinistra is a good question, just to heal the Milo for recovery? No, I want Instant for sure. I could also, actually, you know what? I'm going to lead Skarm with Milo and then have Instant plus Garchomp back. There's actually, if they lead Delphox plus the King Gambit, there is a one line I could see myself going for, and that's why having Sturdy on the Skarmory is actually good in this situation. So let's see. Let's see what they go for here. It's going to be Delphox Garchomp. Okay. Could have led Instant. Unfortunate. I still think this is pretty overall fine, because I should be able to go for a Coil pretty safely with my Milotic. Get the accuracies and the defense boost. And then we go Instant. Man. If I let Instant here, would have been fantastic. I wonder if they're going to go for Heat Wave Rock Slide, or if they're going to go for Psychic into Milo immediately plus Dragon Claw, because I could definitely see both angles here. I don't know if the Garchomp would retreat. Probably not. They could go for Earthquake, I suppose, as well, because they could Mega Evolve with the Delphox and go for Earthquake plus Heat Wave. I don't think I mind that too much, because I do have access again to the Fake Out the next turn. But yeah, this Delphox is one of the most nightmares parts about this balanced team. So we'll see how this performs. I do really like Coil though. Coil is really nice here, because we get to increase our accuracy, and we can also go for Hypnosis into the Garchomp or the Delphox. Most likely the Delphox. Most likely the Delphox. So we're gonna see the Mega Evolution from the Delphox. Are you gonna go for Psychic immediately or Heat Wave? I could see realistically either, but probably Psychic more likely. Yeah, they went for Dragon Claw prop. Why did they crit turn 1, man? And they went for sub. I was actually in such a good spot. I was in such a good spot. I don't know if I live Psychic. Oh. Oh, sometimes turn 1 crits do be like that. If I brought Sinistra, I could go Sinistra, but I don't have Sinistra. Man. I just gotta hope Milo clutches up or that they make a mistake here. Yeah, I just gotta hope that they make a mistake. I'm going for Parting Shot plus recover. Yeah, I'm going down to Psychic. I'll see you in the next game because this is just sometimes how the game goes. Like, you're down, you're going to get crit eventually, but critting at the beginning of the game is definitely not fun. Is this winnable? Maybe it is. The Milo was a huge part of my plan though, so you know what, I'll play it out because maybe I can. The thing is, I don't think I can even beat the Basculegion anymore because I needed boosted Milo to be able to hypnosis the Basculegion so I could get a KO into it. Alright. We'll see. We'll see. I'll attempt it though. I'll attempt it. I think this is a lost cause of a game realistically, but I'll attempt it. The Delphox is at -1 special attack. I think I just go for offense here. I need some RNG probably. I'm gonna go for Rock Slide plus the Throat Chop. Actually, we confirmed it was Scarf Garchomp earlier, right? Because it went before the Delphox. Yeah, so the Garchomp retreats into King Gambit. That makes sense. I almost debated about Flare Blitzing, but I don't think it's worth it here. Because, yeah, they're always going to Psychic here for damage. They're not going to protect. Still does a lot for a -1 Delphox. Jeez. I don't think I KO'd the Delphox with Rock Slide Throat Chop. If I do, it gets interesting because I'm kind of curious then on how this is positioned because I do KO the Delphox's sub at the very least. And I do get a Throat Chop. Okay, I actually do KO the Delphox, right. Its physical defense is not great. Its special defense is pretty good. I mean, I KO'd the Delphox, Skarmory's opened up, but Basculegion, huge problem. Huge problem. I wouldn't be surprised if Bass comes in and just destroys me. Well, I could go for a crit. I could go for a crit into the Bask, I suppose. Maybe it's winnable. Maybe I'm dooming too much. I really think I needed Milo, but maybe there's a shot. Maybe there's a shot. Because King Gambit's like not a threat to the board right now because I have Garchomp, Instant, and Skarmory with Body Press in the back. So really, the biggest threat is Basculegion. Ideally, they go Basculegion here because if they go oh, okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If they go for Wave Crash to KO the Instant, they take a bunch of recoil. I go for Throat Chop and I go for Dragon Claw. Yeah. Because I need as much damage as I can get into the Bask. Or Dragon Claw is slightly stronger. There's also a world where they Sucker Punch Flip Turn the Garchomp, I suppose. Actually, was Earthquake always the play? Well, I could KO Gambit with the attack, but I don't think it's worth it. I think I just Throat Chop. Oh, it's not Scarf Bask. Wait, if it's not Scarf Bask, and they went for Last Respected to Garchomp. Wait. Can I win? Can I win with Skarm? Is Skarm the GOAT? Oh, right, it can't be Scarf Bask because it's Scarf Garchomp. I keep forgetting this. I keep forgetting they can run any other item on Bask because I'm so used to Scarf Bask. Okay, they go for a low kick. I have Chopple Berry. What's actually very fascinating about this spot is they have to lock in a Rock Slide. They have to lock in a Rock Slide. Okay, we go Skarmory here. The game's nowhere near over, but Let's just say there can be some RNG. I am going to parting shot out the Garchomp, and I am going to protect the Skarm. Is there a reason to ever Mega Evolve in this situation? No, right? There is no reason to, yeah. I think Kingambit's probably going to protect, and Garchomp's probably going to Rock Slide, because they're probably going to try to two-shot the Insane with Rock Slide, be safe from the Flare Blitz. Because if I double the Kingambit, they lose, most likely. Oh, wait, they went for Sucker Punch. Okay, that still works fine for me. Rock Slide. Please get the parting shot off instant so you can live the next turn and then Flare Blitz. Okay, that's huge. That's huge. I'm very shocked that they went for this line, but it's okay. Flare Blitz plus Body Press into the Gambit. Otherwise, I would have to go for Brave Bird, Throw Chop to Garchomp if I read Gambit to protect, but I really feel like you shouldn't have Sucker Punched the last turn. I really don't feel like it should have. But we'll see. They do Sucker Punch again. Okay. That did a lot more than I was hoping for, but Rock Slide. I eat it. Please get the attacks off. At least instant. Because I know it's Chopple Berry, yeah. Because low kick always runs Chopple for opposing Gambit. That did nothing. Please. Please. Instant. Instant clutch it. Instant! Okay. I still think I lose to the Garchomp unless I get a miss. Yeah, I need Rock Slide to miss once. Just once. Just once. And I need to not get flinched by the other one. Oh, man. There's no point in stalling out the PowerPoint. You know what? No, Skarm, give me the shield. Give me some... Give it the shield from flinching, or just have the Rock Slides dodge, man. You just gotta be nimble, bird. You just gotta dodge, because here's the thing. Rock Slide into Rough Skin probably doesn't knock out Skarm with single target because it's -1 Garchomp. But the problem is they're... I need Iron Head to Brave Bird to KO. I can't take the recoil. Rough Skin is going to be a bit too annoying. Okay. Oh my goodness. Skarm. Skarm. Clutch it. No, we protect. We saw the luck that protect gave us. We will protect this turn. We will protect this turn. And then we just got to get a Brave Bird off. Come on, Skarm. For the believers. Brave Bird. KO the Garchomp. KO the Garchomp. Actually, crazy close endgame Rock Slide. Oh my god, Skarm is the GOAT! I cannot believe he won that. Crit to clean things up. That's actually insane. That's actually insane. This game was cinema. This game was cinema. I cannot believe. I really thought it was just over after turn 1. Because I really thought I needed my Lodic in this game to be able to tank the attacks with the coil and just like keep around. But Skarm had my back. Instant and Skarm clutched the heck up, man. Instant being able to get the parting shot off in the Garchomp to lower its attack so I live multiple Rock Slides, then getting the KO in the Gambit with Flare Blitz, then Skarm finishing it off. I had to go for Iron Head into Brave Bird because the recoil from Brave Bird would have lost me the game, as you saw, so I had to Iron Head first, then Brave Bird, had to dodge 1 Rock Slide. Oh my goodness. What an insane game. That's probably one of the craziest ones we've had in Champions so far. Alright, we have Eternal Floet, Sneasler, Garchomp, Delphox, King Gambit, and Sinistra. Alright, scary team. The Delphox is always a problem, but the thing that's nice is that Milotic is really good against this team for the most part. Yeah, I think Milotic's really good. We saw how my last opponent played. I'm kind of curious if they'll do something similar. I like Instant plus Milo lead, generally. against this kind of team, and I think it's the case. I don't think they bring Eternal Flood here because Delphox is just so good into my team. Like, it really is. I think I do Incin plus the Milo with Garchomp plus Skarmory back. And I think like it's a generally good lead for the most part. King Gambit's a little bit scary, but I can coil up at least with my Milo, which is nice. Again, I don't know if they're leading Garchomp plus Delphox. They could lead King Gambit as a lead. I think King Gambit's a little bit less likely, but we'll see. Yeah, Garchomp Delphox again. Okay, cool. This is actually super ideal because I get Intimidate off into the Garchomp. I get the Fake Out off into the Delphox turn 1 so I can get a Coil up. I really like this spot. Yep, I can go for Fake Out and I can go for Coil. I don't want Psychic to do too much damage. And if they go for Earthquake, it's not doing that much damage. It's going to do a lot to my Incin, but I think that I'm willing to take damage on Incin here to get my Milo into a good setup position. Do I want to go hard Skarmory the next turn, I guess is a good question, because I could definitely go hard Skarmory. They're very less likely to Heat Wave. They're probably going to click Sub or they're going to click Psychic the next turn. I wonder if the Delphox even attacks here. Maybe I could have went for a more aggressive play, but we're going to see the Garchomp retreat, which is nice. Gambit coming in. That's perfect because I got a free Coil off. And then next turn, I could go for Throat Chop plus Muddy Water. And that's really good for me. Okay, wait, no, this is really good for me. Because if I can get rid of the Delphox, I get a really good spot. Okay, Fake Out. Or do I just want to go for Hypnosis and a Gambit immediately? Because they can't take a knockout on a Milo here. Actually, I think my best play is just to Coil again with Milo and go for a Throat Chop attempt into the Delphox. I actually really like that play. Because Psychic's not going to KO the Milo. After another Coil boost, the King Gambit's definitely not going to threaten the knockout on Milo. And then I'm just boosted Milo that can kind of sit here and then spam Hypnosis. If they protect Delphox, the Gambit can't do anything. It can low kick the Incin or it can kowtow to Milo, which both are fine because I have Chople Berry Incin and I'm +2 Milotic. So yeah, I think Throat Chop plus the Coil makes the most sense here. The only thing is if Delphox lifts a Throat Chop, but I think its physical defense is really low and the chip damage from Fake Out, it's going to be close, but I think I'll be fine. King Gambit retreats into Garchomp again? Okay, that works for me. And they went for Sub. Nice. That's good for me. That's really good for me. Okay, beautiful. Because I am able to get another Coil up, so now I'm +2 defense. And I do get a Throat Chop off into the Delphox. Nice. Huge. I don't think they're going to sub again, realistically. I think my best play is just to go for Hypnosis into the Delphox. I think they're going to... They could protect here. I said, well, here's the thing. If they protect, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? If they protect, what are they going to do exactly? Like, Garchomp going to EQ, I guess? Which is fine. Maybe I could recover as a mid ground. I think my best play is just to Hypnosis the Delphox though. I'm feeling that they're not going to sub anymore. And I'm going to go Skarm. If they Rock Slide Heat Wave, I'll be super upset. But they really should Earthquake plus Psychic probably. Or Earthquake plus Protect or sub. I think both of those plays make more sense to me. They clicked Rock Slide. Oh, they're going for the flinch. They did Psychic, so I did get that play right. Okay. Oh, Milo took that way better than expected. Unfortunately, I flinched, but this is still acceptable. Okay. Okay. Because guess what? I'm going to recover with Milo, and we're going to swap out to Incin. Yeah, we took the Psychic way better than I expected, but I guess this works out. So, if they double the Gambit, that's annoying, but granted, Milo's still in a position where it doesn't really care too much. The Garchomp, we confirm is Scarf. It locked into Rock Slide before the Psychic went off. So now I just get to recover with the Milo, and my Incin comes in pretty safely. Yeah, even if I flinch with Milo this turn, which knock on wood doesn't happen, I still can Fake Out the Delphox and recover. It's only 3 flinches or a crit on top of this. Screws me over. So we get Intimidate off. Rock Slide. They go for the Psychic. Okay, they got another flinch. Unlucky. But we go for another one. We go for another one. And we fake out the Delphox. Also, because the Garchomp's locked, the next turn I can go for Recover plus Drill Chop into the Delphox, which is pretty nice. Okay, they even give me the extra damage on Delphox to put in range of Muddy Water, so I never even have to really go for Hypnosis anymore. More Rock Slides. Okay. Nice. Now I go for Recover plus Drill Chop into the Delphox. I don't really need instant around, I think. Yeah, it's not really that great against... I guess it could be Sinistra back, but I feel like if they had Sinistra, they would have probably brought it out. That's like what I assume. We recover with Milo and we go for a Throat Chop. I'm not parting shot out the Garchomp and the chance they go King Gambit. They retreat the Delphox, which is fine to go out into Gambit. Oh, they do have Sinistra. Okay, so I get a nice Throat Chop into Sinistra, actually. That's pretty decent. Rock Slide. Can I heal with Milo? Okay, so I'm back to full. And did we get the Throat Chop off? We do get the Throat Chop off, so very nice damage to Sinistra. Activates the Citrus. I'm okay with this. I can now go for Hypnosis into the Sinistra, or I could go for the Garchomp and prevent me from getting flinched a bunch. I think the play is probably just a Hypnosis. No, because my instant will be under... Okay, I think my play is always to Hypnosis to Sinistra, Hard Swap to Skarmory. Even if they go Delphox, it's fine for the Garchomp slot, but they're not. Okay, so I do get Skarm in, and Skarm's in a pretty decent spot now. They go for Rock Slide. Nice. Nice. Okay. Very good. So I put the Sinistra to sleep. It's going to be sleeping for a few turns. Now this is a position where Skarmory threatens some pretty strong Brave Birds. So we're going to go for Hypnosis into Garchomp. And we're going to go for Brave Bird into the Sinistra. Because we want to threaten the Sinistra. And we want to stop Garchomp from being able to spam these Rock Slides. Because these Rock Slides are kind of adding up. And the flinch just loses me a bunch of momentum. Sinistra's going to retreat. So Gambit probably coming in. But what's Gambit really doing to these Pokemon? Not really much. So that's fine. Okay. Bring out the Skarmory. They go for Rock Slide again. Honestly, I would have preferred the Milo dodging. I mean, I do recover with the leftover, so I guess it's not that bad. But the Brave Bird was not important. I guess every bit of damage on Gambit does help, though. Because Gambit's probably the one who threatens the Milotic well, out of the physical attackers, I suppose. I do get the Hypnosis off. Okay, beautiful. Now, I think I go for Hypnosis again into the Gambit, and I'm going to swap out into Garchomp. Do I want to go into Garchomp? I'm not in Sucker Punch range from the Gambit, I suppose. I could just Hypnosis Body Press. Actually, I know Body Press, based off the previous damage, it definitely should be Chople. I think I just Body Press the Gambit and Hypnosis. Even if they protect Gambit, like the Garchomp takes a turn to sleep, I don't think they're doubling the Garchomp at this point, yeah. And now I get a Body Press into the Chople Berry Gambit, which is perfect. Because I threaten it the next turn with Body Press. And we also get a Hypnosis off into the Gambit. So now I can go for Muddy Water plus Body Press pretty safely. Very solid. Okay. Instant's looking like in a pretty comfortable spot. So is my Delphox at this point. So we go for a Muddy Water and we go for a Body Press into the Gambit slot. They could switch into Sinistra on any other slot, but they're still taking damage at every switch, and they still don't apply any damage into Skarmory at this point, unless they go Delphox. But the thing is, Delphox is eating a Muddy Water if it does switch in. So they switch out the Garchomp. Is this Sinistra? Oh, if they went Delphox, I'm finally clicking the water move. I'm finally clicking the water move. Oh, good play on their part, actually. I like this double switch from them. They get Sinistra in, and because of the order they did, One, it obviously absorbs the body press, but B, it also means that they are able to get the hospitality on the Delphox. Really smart play on their part. Okay. I do get Muddy Water off. Into the Delphox. Nice. Ooh, accuracy drop. How aggressive do I want to play? I think... Oh, they forfeit. They forfeit. They're like... it doesn't seem like winnable. And it kind of isn't, because here's the thing. I always have Muddy Water Braper the next turn. If they go for Heat Wave, Muddy Water KOs the Delphox, and even if they get a Matcha Gotcha off, it's not anywhere near enough to KO Milo. So Milo kind of wins the game next to Instant at that point. If they decide, hey, I'm going to go for Protect, then I get the Brave Bird KO on the Sinistcha, they have to spam Rock Slide again for flinches, and even then I have ways to play around it because I still have Instant alive. So yeah, it was like really tough for my opponent to be able to win at that point. And yeah, like the accuracy drop doesn't really matter too much. I mean, it makes it hard for my opponent, but realistically, in the grand scheme of things, it was just really hard for them to break through the Milo. All right, we have the Archaludon, Sneasler, Pelipper, Starmie, Eternal Float, and Garchomp. 3 potential Mega Evolutions, but Starmie and Float should always be Mega Evolutions, so we'll see. My Archaludon matchup's not great with this team. I do have tools for it, but it's not an easy mon to handle. All right. I also need to figure out if there's a Scarf on this team, because Scarf is kind of annoying. All right. So I think lead-wise, what am I going here? I don't think Milo is that great. Sinistcha is probably necessary. I think I do with Skarmory plus Sneasler. I think this is a coaching team for sure. Then I think it's Garchomp and Sinistcha back. Because Sinistcha can at least redirect the Electro Shots from Skarmory. Garchomp puts on some pretty good offensive pressure. Instant's nice just for the Intimidate, but I don't really need the Intimidate. I'm not too scared of Sneasler. I'm kind of curious where it is. It should be White Up Sneasler, I assume, on this team, and Sash Pelipper, but it could be like Scarf Pelipper, Sash Sneasler as well. So I gotta find that in mind. Where I see Pelipper Float. Wait, they brought Float? And not this. Okay, if they brought Float and not the. Huh. Okay. They brought Float and not the Archaludon, or not the Starmie. I'm really surprised not to see Starmie in this game, but this works out actually pretty decent for me. I think turn 1, I would just go for a Brave Bird. I think I double up the Pelipper, because the Float could switch to Arch for like an Iron Head and a Dire Claw situation. I think Arch is their best play, so I'm going to fake out the Pelipper and Brave Bird. They Mega Ball protects. This is super risky by them. I mean, I don't lose too much because I do have Sash on the Sneasler, and I do have the Skarmory that resists all the fairy attacks, but what is this play? I'm very shocked by this play that they made here. Because the Float, I feel like, is heavily threatened, and I feel like you have a safe switch, but maybe they're like, okay, close combat Iron Head's a problem. Okay, they do protect. Okay, that makes sense. I was about to say, are you attacking? But no, I get a fake out off into the Pelipper. Are you Scarf? We get to confirm here. You're not Scarf. Okay, so I do get the Brave Bird off into the Pelipper, and a lot of damage. Nice. It's Citrus, which is not ideal. Does Float retreat? I feel like you have to. I feel like you have to. I might be playing aggressive here, but I think playing aggressive makes sense, because I think last mon should be... I think Arch is just such a safe switch. Because I could Dire Claw to Pelipper, and I could Iron Head to Float. So I don't know if they have a safe play here. I just don't want to give the Arch like a free switch. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the aggressive coaching play. They stay in. I could have Iron Head Dire Claw, got a double knockout, and probably just won. That's unfortunate. Does Skarm live the Moonblast after the recall? They might go for Gleam though. So I get rid of the Pelipper. Okay. They did move. Oh, they Moonblast the Sneasler. Wait, that's huge because I do have the Focus Sash. Okay, that's really good for me actually. Okay. That's nice. All right, very huge turn. All right, Skarm is around. I have my Unburden active on the Sneasler. They bring out their own Sneasler. Wait, this is pretty good for me. Did they? There's no way you didn't bring Arch. There's no way you didn't bring Arch. Is it Garchomp back? I'm so confused. Okay. We we protect Skarm here, and I think I'm gonna switch out my Sneasler. I don't need my Unburden. So I think I'm just gonna go on a Sinistra and heal my Skarmory, and then have Redirection paired with Skarmory, which seems really hard for them to break through. I think that's my best plan. At this point, I'm like, they don't have Arch. Like, at this point, like, my mind is like, they didn't bring Arch, which is crazy to me. This has to be like fake out Sneeze. No, they have to fake out Skarm, right? And Gleam? No, they close combat into that, and they Light of Ruin into Skarmory. Okay. I have +1 defense on my Skarm, and I think I'm willing to go for a Life Dew Iron Head here. Okay. I've just been super confused, but alright. Do you have Arch and you're going to go into Arch now? If you go to Arch now, it's a bit questionable. No, I'm still fine because I can redirect with Sneasler and take the KO on the right slot. They switch out to Sneasler. Don't tell me this is Arch. They did have Arch! Why did they go Arch like several turns ago? I get the Iron Head. Goodbye, Floette. Why didn't they go Arch like several turns ago, man? And I get the Life Dew on Skarm. Beautiful. So I get my recovery back. Unfortunately, we don't have Sturdy right now. They're gonna forfeit. I was like, oh, they could switch out into Arch in one, like the first turn. They could get the stamina boost on a fake out or a Iron Head. I think that makes a ton of sense. They didn't switch into Arch turn 1, and I'm like, oh, turn 2, they could switch into Arch on the other slot. They didn't switch into Arch turn 2. Oh, do they not have Arch turn 3? Well, turn 4, they have Arch. I can't. I can't. Maybe it was Sturdy Arch. Maybe they were Sturdy Arch, so they didn't want to break the Sturdy, which I guess then makes sense. I guess it wasn't Stamina then, because if it was Stamina, you should probably be switching in for the boost. But the thing is, they had no pressure against the Skarm out for the entire game. That's the problem that they had. They couldn't get a safe position in the Skarm, or to deal with the Skarm and get Arch in safely, I suppose. Alright, we have Gengar, Whimsicott, Politoed, Archaludon, Incineroar, and Vivian. This is a really tough matchup because Gengar is rough. Arch is rough. Yeah, there's a lot of rough mons here. Okay. What am I leading against this team? I don't even have the best. Okay, I need Sinistra around for sure. This is gonna be a tough one. Gengar, Whimsicott, Arch, Rain is probably not likely to win. I can play around it. I have tools, but I'm just gonna say this is gonna be a really rough time. I think Garchomp plus Skarmory is probably my best bet with Earthquake pressure. Then in the back, I bring Incin. I might need it. I think I might need Incin. It's probably Sash Whimsicott if I had to guess. Yeah, I'm bringing Incin, Sinistra back. Which kind of stinks because I could very well lose to the Archaludon because I'm not bringing Sneasler, but Sneasler does nothing to the Gengar, which is kind of the problem here. And I need Sinistra to beat the Politoed, or I just lose to Politoed. Okay, let's see what they got. Gengar Vivian, okay. Versus Garchomp Skarm. I mean, this is a good lead for me. I can Rock Slide and Iron Head the Vivian slot. Oh, wait. Only one of the mons of Whimsicott and Vivian could be Sash. Is it Scarf Viv? Oh, don't be Scarf Viv. Or is this Perish? They have so many different modes that they could have with their team. They could protect Vivian and Perish Song. Oh, there's so many mind games because they could protect Sleep Powder, which I think is unlikely, but I'm going to go for Iron Head Rock Slide into Vivian, I think. Gengar is definitely Mega Evolving. I don't know if it's Protect or not, or if they're going to go for Perish Song immediately. We do see the Mega Evolution is to activate the Shadow Tag. There's so many mind games here because they have so many different sets that they could have on their Gengar. It might not be Perish either. Alright, we have Mega Evolve over Skarmory. I could say double protect here, but if they double protect, it's good for me because then I can double up the Gengar. Oh, it's Rage Powder. Wait, I could have Earthquaked. This is Perish, right? It has to be. Yeah. Okay, this is more doable. This is more doable. Because I do get the Iron Head off into the Vivian. Which did nothing, actually. I do hit the Rock Slide. So Vivian goes down. If I click Earthquake Brave Bird, the game ended. Which I did debate about because I do have the Stalwart on the Skarmory. So I'm kind of surprised. Because I could just Brave Bird. A lot of players don't know about Stalwart on Skarm. But it's actually good because it ignores Rage Powder redirection. Let's see who's being brought out here. Whimsicott? If it's Whimsicott, I got to click Earthquake Brave Bird. Because there is a disable option on the Gengar. It could be Encore Disable on this team. So I got an Earthquake and Brave Bird. I think it's Sash on the Whimsicott though. Oh, Politoed came in. Interesting. I mean, we always Earthquake and we Brave Bird the Politoed. I wonder if it's eject button Politoed. I've seen it before. Protect on the Gengar makes sense. Oh, okay, that's huge. They didn't protect the Politoed. I get the Brave Bird off into the Politoed. That's a lot of damage. Is Earthquake KO? No, it's Citrus, yeah. Are you Ice Beam? Or are you Encoring me? Encore is fine. I got a lot of damage off, which is nice. But the problem is my back is pretty passive. It's Instant Sinistra. Although I would win if I remove one of the Perish Mons. If I remove one of the Mons in the game. Oh, thank goodness, man. Thank goodness. Raw Hypnosis. Really? Really? Okay. Earthquake, Brave Bird, the Gengar. They're probably going to maybe I should have Dragon Clawed this Gengar, but they... I think they disable here. Or switch out. Both are good for me, because Arch, Brave Bird, EQ is still doing a lot. Wait, they didn't protect the... That did a lot to Arch. What? Oh, I was about to say, that did way too much to Arch. And I was like, that's sturdy Arch? Okay. You get a Brave Bird EQ off. I wasn't sure if it was Arch in the back or Whimsicott. That's why I Brave Birded as well. It also covered like sub. But I do get rid of Arch. The problem is I might still lose to Arch no matter what. I get rid of Politoed, but I don't know if I can beat the Arch in the end game. I don't know if I can beat the Arch in the end game. It's also leftovers, which is worst case. Earthquake KOs at -2, right? I mean, my best play here is to body press. Actually, is it the Brave Bird, the Gengar? I mean, I think they double protect regardless, but we'll see. Like, if they go for a greedy sub or disable, like, I'm punishing it. Yeah, they both have protect. Okay. The question is, how do I beat the Arch? Very good question, James. Very good question. Man, if I had Sneasler back to close combat was such a good spot here. I didn't expect him to throw away the Politoed that easily like that. Okay. Skarm goes down. I guess like it was unlikely Whimsicott because if they had Whimsicott, they would have brought it out earlier. So I think my best play earlier was to body press the Gengar. Although, again, if they have Disable, they could go for Disable and it would get a little bit ugly. You go Instant Sinistra. Problem is we have like no damage output against the Arch. I want to say Drill Chop. Drill Chop definitely KOs the Gengar. I'm going to protect Sinistra and hope they Shadow Ball it. And then I get a Drill Chop off in the Gengar, and then maybe I can have a chance to win. Although I just don't see myself being able to break through Archaladon. If I get a burn, maybe. But even with a burn, I think it's super unlikely. Okay. They did Shadow Ball, and I do get the Drill Chop, so I get this play right. Oh, they Flash Cannon. Wait, that's really good. They didn't Electroshot, which I'm surprised by. Okay, I do KO the Gengar. Wait, we might have chances. We might have chances. I need a burn on the Arch ASAP with Machagacha. It's the last turn of rain, so they can only Electroshot once. So I'm going to Parting Shot the Archaladon, and I'm going to go for Life Dew. The problem is I still don't think I beat the Arch in the long term without a burn. Yeah, they Electroshot immediately. This is to Ensign. Or no, they target the Sinistra for some reason. Okay. That works, because I think I take less damage overall. And I can Life do Parting Shot, and I think I spam Parting Shot, Machagacha till I get a burn. Then I start going for damage into Arch, and then I think I win in the long term. Assuming no crits, but crits are going to end me here. But I could also crit the Arch with like a Flare Blitz out of rain or a Throat Chop. I thought they were going to Electroshot my Instant, but this works out amazingly. I Parting Shot spam into the Arch, and we go for... I think we go for one more Life Dew first, and then we Machagacha. Yeah, I think that's best. The Arch should just Protect here, most likely. Yep. I mean, I get free health, so that's fine. I do get free health, I suppose. Oh, boy. Actually, no, I think we spam Machagacha now, because I can Life Dew on another turn. Yeah. We can win on Timer as well. Timer's also a play, although I think we still have like way too much time on the board. So we go for Machagacha, we go for Parting Shot. Because if we get the burn on Arch, we negate the Leptos recovery, then we just spam damage and it's okay. We go for Flash Cannon. Sinistra eats. Okay, we land the Machagacha. Did we get the burn immediately? That actually did more damage than I thought, actually. For quad resisted, that actually did more than I thought. Okay, get the recovery. Then Parting Shot. The thing is, they also can't go for... They can't go for Protect either, because then I could get a free Life Dew and they'd be in a really bad spot. So I'm just going to keep going for Machagacha here. Because if they Protect, I mean, if I Life Dew, they're just in bad spot, right? So I also have Citrus, so I'm okay. But they actually risk it, so I'm okay with that. As you can see, they're not doing any damage. Bad Spit Death Drop. Bad Spit Death Drop. Come on, burn, burn, burn the Arch. Okay, Sinistra's getting a little bit spooky. It's getting a bit spooky here. I wonder if they Protect now. This is just such a funny game. All right, we spam Parting Shot again. We're gonna go for Protect. Unless they're scouting for my Protect from Sinistra, but I mean, it's all right. They're also thinking quite a bit here, which is your time added. They can't really afford that much your time. Yeah, the Arch ain't Protect. I'm assuming this is just Flash Cannon again. Yep, okay. Then next turn, I think I Life Dew. I just spam Parting Shot till this Arch is at -6. And it is almost at -6. It's -3 right now, so Life Dew and heal. They're gonna Flash Cannon again. Unless they have Draco and want to risk it, but I don't think you should. Flash Cannon. Yeah. Alright. And now I'm gonna spam Machagacha. I will need one burn. Just give me one burn on the Arch. If I get one burn, I think we're good, man. If we get one burn, we're good. I could also get a Flare Blitz burn, I suppose, as well. And I guess I could go for a Flare Blitz eventually. But yeah, we're going to go for Matcha Gotcha first. The problem is, if Arch crits my Sinistra or knocks out the Sinistra before I get the burn, the game is just 100% over. They go for Flash Cannon again. Okay. It's a long game, but we have to do this, unfortunately. This is how you beat Arch in this. We finally get the burn. We finally get the burn. I can start piling up damage now and win. Oh, thank goodness. Another parting shot. And how much are they at right now? I mean, I life do first and then I go for it. They're almost at -6, right? Yeah, one more. And then life do. Then we can spam Flare Blitz Matcha Gotcha, and they have to get pretty lucky here to win. Okay, we got the burn, so that's really huge. That's like a first step. Nice. And life do. Okay. I go for Flare Blitz with Instant. Also, Flare Blitz crit would just knock out the Arch. So, yeah, Flare Blitz. Also, even if I take recoil, I can always just life do back the recoil. So, we go for a Flare Blitz. And we go for a Protect, I think. Then we can Matcha Gotcha the next turn. I wonder how much Flare Blitz is doing, because this is, what, +6? I think this is +6 at this point. Luckily, Arch does not get body press, but then again, if it's Electroshock, Flash Cannon, Dragon Move, probably Protect. You kind of need it on this kind of Arch. Alright, let's see what they have. They're thinking about the target, probably. They're thinking about the target into Sinistra. Electroshock, they can't really do that because if they Electroshock, they don't do nearly enough damage, and that's a free turn. I'm just getting extra chip. So, they could be going for... I think at this point, they have to go for crits anyway. I guess they could think about like if they're critting the instant or they're critting the Sinistra. They can't win on timer. Like it's impossible to win on timer for them. Oh, they Protect, which is smart to scout, although it doesn't really matter too much for me. But good Protect on their part. I guess it gets spooky depending on if Sinistra even gets enough Matcha Gotchas in this game. But yeah, we Flare Blitz and we go for a Matcha Gotcha. The Matcha Gotcha is doing like 10, which is nice. The Flare Blitz? I don't know, maybe 5% if we're lucky. It's +6 Arch. Maybe it does more than I expect because, I mean, this is an offensive instant. I also have no idea what their spread on Arch is. But at this point, just let me do its thing, please. Flash Cannon again. Nice. Okay. We do land the Matchas too, so it's looking really hard for them to come back in this game. How much does Flare Blitz do? Oh wait, they had another boost? I guess I should have life dude then. I should have life dude. Oh well. Flare Blitz. Actually, Flare Blitz doing 10% is nice. Yeah, Flare Blitz doing 10% is nice. So I think we're good here. Well, I mean, there's like really fiction odds that they crit me multiple times here. But they need like 3 crits in a row, I think. Which is really unlikely here. I wonder if they Protect again or if they just attack. I think you just go for the crit realistically. They can't win on timer. They literally cannot win on timer. Because even if they double crit me, I don't think they could win on timer. Yeah, no, because instant wins. You need to triple crit regardless. And the timer is not helping you. It's helping me. Because it's more likely odds that I don't get triple crit. And triple crit is like the odds of winning anyway, which doesn't require a timer. I guess a Draco Meteor crit KO is instant, but I don't think it does. Even with the Flare Blitz recoil, I just doubt it. They go for Electroshock. Interesting. Okay. Well, a crit doesn't knock out instant because it's not like +1 electric shot. So I get a Matcha Gotcha, which does more damage to the Arch. Yeah, it's a crit. Of course, the crit that we're all fishing for this game is like the Matcha Gotcha that's quad resisted, but realistically, it doesn't really matter. We get the Flare Blitz off. And yeah, it's curtains for my opponent here. Electroshock crit just doesn't knock out instant at this point, and they are going to forfeit because they realize, yeah, it's kind of impossible for the Arch to win, which is funny because I really didn't expect to be able to beat the Arch in the end game, but it just worked out because I got to play against the Gengar right. I got the KO into Gengar because they were hoping to Shadow Ball KO the Sinistcha before it could do anything, and then I was able to Throw Chop KO the Gengar, and they also didn't Electroshot that one turn, which made it a lot easier. They went for like Flash Cannon, I think, in the Sinistcha instead, which just gave me room to. They went for Flash Cannon and Shadow Ball, which I think they're recovering if I'm super Spadef and live Shadow Ball, which I am, and I think I probably would have lived, but at the same time, it's like Electric Shot there in that position. I think it's really hard for me to stop, so whew, worked out. Okay, that took so long to load, I was worried, but we got Palafin, Sneasler, King Gambit, Frostlass, Hisuian Arcanine, and Sinistcha. Interesting team. The Hisuian Arcanine definitely is an interesting note. Milotic is really good here. Milotic is pretty good. And so is the Skarmory. Skarmory's really good here, actually. Wait, they don't have a Skarmancer. If I spam coaching, how do they beat Skarm? Oh, this is going to be fun. All right. I'm going to lead with Sneasler plus Skarm, I think. Man, I want Milo in this game because Milo's really good, but I don't think I need it. Garchomp is also not needed in this game because Skarm kind of beats everything that Garchomp beats. So I think I bring Instant. I think I just go on full on support the Skarm. I think it goes crazy in this matchup. I could be worried about Haze Palafin. Haze Palafin's like the big one, but I also have a Sinistcha, and the Palafin always has to play kind of passive here because if they decide, hey, lead it, switch it, that's a couple turns where I could get some coachings off. So let's see. Frostlass Gambit. This is the best case lead I could have asked for. This is the best case lead I could have asked for. The Skarmory is going to go crazy. All right, we're going to go for coaching into the Skarmory, and we're going to go for a Iron Head into the Frostlass. I wonder if they're modest or timid, because that matters. Skarmory outspeeds modest Frostlass. Timid, I don't. I definitely Mega Evolve here. This could be like, Sucker Punch Blizzard could be like the one thing that's scary, but the thing is, are you risking that turn one? That seems like such a big risk. I'm gonna Iron Head the Frostlass and coaching. They're gonna retreat Gambit, which is fine. Into Sinistcha. Okay, Sinistcha applies no offensive pressure, so Skarm should be good here. They didn't Mega Evolve Frostlass, so they should be protecting, which is okay. Because I get a free coaching off. Do they know about Skarmory's ability? Do they know about Skarmory's ability? This is a good question. Wait, they didn't Mega Evolve Frostlass. They went for sub. They got really greedy. That's the biggest greed I've ever seen, man. That's so greedy. They also brought no Palafin. Arcanine is the last. Are they Chople Arcanine? Yo, check out this coaching body press I got for the Arcanine. Oh, they don't know. No one knows about Stalwart, man. No one knows about Stalwart. So you can't redirect coaching either with Rage Powder. We get the coaching. Body press. Wow, that lived. That's really bulky on the Arcanine. Flare Blitz, this is like nothing. That actually did more than I thought. I'm surprised. Okay. I mean, regardless, I still win. I still win. King Gambit. We retreat the Sneasler into Sinistra for the healing, and we're gonna go for a Brave Bird, or do I want to go for Body Press? I go for Brave Bird into Sinistra, I suppose. Because even though I could Body Press the Gambit, if I get rid of Sinistra, I just win. Because then I have a Sash Sneasler against a Gambit, and I also have an Instant still around. So I drink the Matcha. They protect, yep, because they're probably going to go for Matcha Gotcha Burn. Oh my goodness. Mega Skarm the GOAT. Oh my goodness. I thought people were sleeping on this mod. I actually legitimately think it was good. And what an insane streak of wins with Mega Skarm. It's absolutely absurd. Mega Skarmory is so good, man. It's so good. 8 win streak. I think 7 of them have been, wait, is it 8? No, yeah, it's 7 wins in champion tier with Mega Skarmory. Yeah, don't sleep on this mod. So how was the team? Well, we went on an undefeated streak. I was not thinking that Mega Skarmory would be the undefeated streak, but this thing was really surprisingly good. And I thought it would be good. I didn't expect it to be this good, and I didn't expect us to get an undefeated streak because, man, I think this mod, I've told people that I think it just plays differently from Corviknight. You kind of just have to get rid of this Mega Skarmory versus Corviknight comparison because they're 2 mods that do have similar roles, but the way they play are very different. And I think that Mega Skarmory was able to take advantage, and I think balance was definitely the best way to run Mega Skarmory because it has really good defensive typing and of course pairs well with all the tools. Offensively and defensively, it can switch in. So I think Mega Skarmory, fantastic mon. It was able to put in a lot of work. Do I think it's like the most meta mon out there? Probably not, but I actually think it's a pretty solid Mega Evolution. It's probably a higher tier than like most people would probably put it as. But I think its ability also comes into play, and sometimes they just don't remember this ability because they don't see Mega Skarmory. I haven't seen a Mega Skarmory yet, but I think it's a really solid mon. Like, I do think that genuinely that Mega Skarmory has actually good potential in the current format, and I think we showcased how well it could do. If you would like to try out the team, there is the replica code right here. If you want to try to grab the team, make sure you do so. You only have a week to grab the rental or the replica before we get rid of it to make room for more teams, because of course I do try out a lot of teams. So if you do want to make sure that you never miss out on any of the action, any of the cool teams, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check out the details of the team down below the description, and why not check out the rest of the videos? For instance, why not check out the cool Jolteon Mega Frostlass team that I used to reach champions tier?